Today's hearing, titled Mischaracterizes the Department of Homeland Security's programs that address security risks linked to climate change as climate politics and a misplaced focus. These department programs and activities provide resources to address other national priorities, such as preparedness for and response to natural disasters. After living through the effects of Hurricane Katrina on the Gulf Coast, not to mention recent flooding in Texas and Oklahoma, I find it confusing that the majority would see a misplaced focus in DHS's efforts on hazard mapping and risk analysis to support the National Flood Insurance Program, producing physical measures to avoid or reduce damage associated with natural disasters, assessing the safety and security of critical infrastructure, and conducting workshops requested by state, local, and tribal leaders intended to build their preparation and response capabilities. In addition to the relevance of the Department's core disaster preparation and mitigation efforts as a response to climate change trends, an even-handed treatment of DHS's response to climate change would be acknowledged assessments produced and for the United States intelligence community over the past decade. These studies have provided ample evidence that trends in global climate act, as well as what the 24 Quadrennial Homeland Security Review described as threat multipliers, aggravating stressors abroad that can enable terrorist activity and violence such as poverty, environmental degradation, and social tensions. For example, as the U.S. Institute of Peace has found that threats we face today from the extremist group Boko Haram first emerged and expanded during a period coinciding with major droughts in and around northern Nigeria. 2 months ago, the chairman of this committee stated that the Obama administration, particularly the Department of Homeland Security, is placing more emphasis on climate change than on countering violent extremism. Despite the chairman's unwarranted criticism of DHS's valuable initiatives related to climate change, I too have concerns about the Department of Homeland Security's approach to countering violent extremism. I have asked the chairman to hold hearings on the department's approach to countering violent extremism and to receive testimony from the DHS Countering Violent Extremism Coordinator. I have also expressed the need to receive testimony on this topic to the Department of Homeland Security. However, rather than provide testimony, the Department has chosen to have a briefing in our committee's classified space. Unfortunately, to date, this committee has not received testimony in an open setting from the Department on what it is doing in that space. Consequently, the Department has not adequately afforded the members of the committee with the opportunity to hear what it is doing on countering violent extremism. With a surge in domestic terrorist activity, such as what was carried out in Charleston, South Carolina on June 17th, and the continuing threat from international terrorist groups such as ISIL, it is important and well past the time this committee receives testimony from DHS, not outside entities, on CVE. The Department can and must manage in ways that develop robust, versatile, and adaptable activities and capabilities to address the full spectrum of threats, from both man-made and natural disasters to the American people and the homeland. In doing so, DHS leaders work to find ways for the Department to make the fullest contribution to the whole of government response to climate change phenomena, employing programs and systems also used to respond to drug trafficking, threats to transportation, and threats to infrastructure generally. Similarly, we can find ways to counter violent extremism that robs American lives, whether originating at home or abroad, sharpening the same kind of smart and flexible management. With that, Mr. Chair, I yield back.